You know what's fun? Besides fun things? um, so I love to take shit apart. I love to take stuff apart, pardon me. Especially because there's nothing quite like breathing life into something that maybe is a little bit tired. So I bought this a while back, pretty random. I try not to buy a lot of this stuff just because it is a lot of work to try to figure out how to refashion it, but it was a pretty double strand. Notice how I called it pretty. It wasn't that pretty or I wouldn't be taking it apart. But a double strand of pearls, Akoya pearls. Pretty traditional, like this. And it had this funky little pearl cluster, Florentini kind of gold clasp on it. This is super dated. It is almost impossible to sell. The pearls are graduated. This clasp is not something most people want anymore. You find people that are like, it's cool, it's vintage, I can use it, but there are 8 million of them. And so even if you're cool and vintage and funky, you have too many to choose from. It just makes it impossible to resell it. So what do? So these pearls are good quality and they're Akoya pearls, so they're worth a little time and energy. So the first thing I did was I cut off this clasp. Bye-bye clasp. And there's an easy thing to do. I could restring it and make it one long necklace, right? So that's already looking better, I guess. It looks better to me. I could either not put a clasp in at all, or I could put an inexpensive something like this, which is called a fish clasp. And somebody could double it up if they want to, or they could wear it as a really long strand. Okay, cool. What else could we do? Well, at Tenenbaum, I have 8 million beads to play with. These are lapis beads. These are oversized serpentine beads. Pardon me that they're in plastic, but they will go everywhere if not. Coral beads, which I love. Have some funny little corrugated gold beads just sitting here. And I have a bunch of turquoise beads, which is probably what I'm thinking. So my thought was restring this. Instead of having it graduated or kind of graduated, just let the stringer go completely random so that some are bigger and some are smaller all the way around. And let's put some of these little coral beads mixed in, right? But instead of doing the really boring pearl, 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 turquoise, pearl, 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 turquoise, I was thinking maybe we could do a section. So it would be all funky or different sized pearls with a section of color. Anyway, that's kind of my thought process. I'm curious if you have an idea of something more fun to do. And if you do, I may not do it on this one, but I have 8 million more pearl strands that I could experiment with. So enlighten me.